Now, Chris Harvey of Wells Fargo today has a really interesting note. Equities probably find stability post-Jackson Hole, is what he says. And then he gives you a final trade of the year. I love this. Away from the short term, we think there is one more major risk trade in 2022, and the catalyst will be in and around conference season, and that's in September. For short-term traders, we would be neutral heading into September, but we would be ready to move in a big way. I'm wondering what you make of that as we sort of go into Jackson Hole, and then we look at what's going to happen on the backside of that.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm not looking for fireworks here in Jackson Hole. I think that Powell's speech is likely to be evaluated and scrutinized to a level that's probably unnecessary, given the fact that we don't have that number, to Jim's point. I do think that we're overlooking, and Joe makes some great points recently on the election. And so if you're thinking about this sort of post-September rip, you have about that 4-week period between mid-September and mid-October where you potentially have the opportunity to position not only for expectations of nothing more than the Fed has already telegraphed in terms of the end of the year rate hikes, but also potentially for coming out of the election, regardless of what the outcome is, and setting yourself up for the end of the year. So between mid-September and mid-October, if you have cash on the sidelines or you're underweight equities, to me, I think you need to be thinking about repositioning. It's where, sector-wise, that you want to go that I think is the big question right now based on economic data in the next 4 weeks.
Let me push back on you.
I really like that.
Let me push back on you just for a second. Sure. This notion that he's not really going to say much, he can't really say much. I would agree with you on all of that and anybody who would suggest that, except for the fact that the market rallied a lot on the perception of what he said. The perception of what he said last time. Now, anything he says is going to be so closely parsed to see if it matches up with the presser or throws water all over it.
Exactly. And what I'm hoping he just says is we are going to crush inflation. You can be sure of it. We're not done until the fat lady sings. If he says that, then we can kind of schedule a fat lady. And we'll feel better. Opposed to Kashkari, it's like,
but if he says that,
maybe we'll do this.
Hotzius of Goldman says we expect him to reiterate the case for slowing the pace of tightening laid out at the press conference. We continue to expect them to slow the pace of rate hikes to 50 in September and 25 in November, December. If he says we're going to crush inflation, as you said, does that match up with 50 and 25 and 25?
Because, he's trying to get away, I think, from saying exactly what he's going to do if the data's hot. And I've got to tell you, like, well, you're on the Toll Brothers call, right? And you're looking and saying, oh, good, it's bad, good. But July was great. It's like, oh, no. Right. And you say, oh, well, the cars said the Manheim Index is down. No, but there's no cars. I mean, we're not winning. We're winning. We're not even winning. By the way, have you seen the way that metals have gone up? Grains are going up. We're not winning yet. We need him to say, listen, we're in this to win. We need Belichick, okay? We don't want, let's say, a lot of the coaches are pretty smart.
Were you looking for one who wasn't? Is that what you were?
I was going to say something about the Giants, but they got that guy from Buffalo. But we want Belichick. We want Belichick.
The challenge, though, also according to Goldman, and I'm wondering if you're sort of alluding to this, Joe, slowing the pace. This is his challenge, Powell. Slowing the pace without easing financial conditions. Well, financial conditions have eased. He doesn't want that to happen. No, he doesn't want to. He's got to really thread a tight needle then.
But I think he and the market are both clear that you're getting an additional form of tightening in the increasing of balance sheet tightening.
I know, but it hasn't happened, though. But they've been.
No, it's happening. It's happening September 1st. So it's happening September 1st. So if you think about it, 50 basis point rate hike is really like 75 if you're also now going to double the size of balance sheet tightening. So I think he knows that. I think he has to be careful. I agree with Jim. He has to say we're going to do whatever we can to combat inflation. I think people that are investing thinking there's going to be this pivot, I disagree with that premise at all completely. But I also think he has to tell markets, listen, 75 basis point hikes at every meeting, that's not normal. Yeah.